that goes a long way in the direction of the next topic, uh, the elevator pitch for fourth. Brad is the only guy that stepped up. Uh, it's like he was infinitely busy this week, so we only did an elevator pitch. Uh,
Well,
I,
you should see it before you praise it. Maybe it's a dreadful pitch, but I do have a video to show. It's short little 2.5 minute video. So
all right, we'll get started with this segment by showing asking Brad to show his video. Uh, if it's that horrible, maybe we can not put it up on YouTube, but it will at least get us started in the discussion of what this is and where to go with it.
all right, let me go ahead and if I can find the button.
While Brad's doing that, I wanted to say join us in July if you're in the Bay Area for the annual CH Ting July barbecue lunch. For many years, Dr. Ting was kind enough to feed us in July and again on fourth day. Uh, and it would be nice if we could get together for lunch. It's probably not going to be a live meeting that month since that is logistically challenging. And so it'll probably be Armadillo Willie's at a guest in Mountain View, and it will be posted on MeetUp in due course.
Everywhere you look, it's auto-filled, self-driving, self-updating, AI-optimized, A/B tested, fly-by-wire, hyper-personalized, and data-driven. Our world is being eaten by software. Since 1968, we've gone from 20 micrometers to 3 nanometers, from 2,300 to 50 billion transistors. But in 1971, Unix had only 4,500 lines of code. Today, Linux has 27 million. Software is growing faster than hardware can keep up. A key press on the Apple II in 1980 got to the screen 3 times faster than on your shiny new laptop. Where did all that power go? We spent it like a drunken sailor. An OS layer here, a slow interpreter there, and 20 framework layers later. Is it any wonder it takes gigabytes to do anything? We've fallen into the trap of confusing layers of abstraction with layers of plumbing. And worse, that plumbing is leaky. What the world needs is Forth. Forth is a programming language, but it's also a philosophy. Forth is 3 ideas. Words. In Forth, everything is a word, and the words are simply executed one by one. Find the 100 words that let you solve your problem in 10 words. Definitions. You can make words that do anything. You define new words in terms of words you already know with a colon definition. 2 stacks. People have 2 hands, making it easy to manipulate the world. With 2 stacks, programs can pass parameters without naming every variable. Everything else is optional. File systems, operating systems, objects, threads, Unicode, even ASCII. If you don't need it, leave it out. Using Forth, you can build powerful systems that fit in your head. Forth. Keep it simple.
That was
very nice. I like it.
that great.
Yay. He wins. Brad wins.
All right. I don't know what to say to that. It went off in a direction other than the one I had envisioned. But uh, that was great. I don't understand your original comments about it being less, less than wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Uh, what I'd like to talk about is a different thing, uh, the sort of thing that we could maybe put on the home page of our YouTube channel to give a brief description of the fourth programming language uh, and what it's good for. Uh, did, did you want to talk about the production of this, Brad, in response to Chris's question in the chat? I can't hear Brad, even though it looks like he's not muted. He is muted, okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you
Good,
now.
Yeah, no, I wrote a script and then thought I need some pictures to go with it. So I asked Gemini for some pictures and then put them in Adobe Premiere and panned around them. So yeah, a lot of them are kind of, they have that AI grotesqueness to them. So, which I figured was maybe good for all the talking about all the complexity in the world.
Yeah. AI is definitely overly complex.
APL,
But
APL is overly complex. It's unbelievable how complex it has come over the years, and it's one of the reasons why Cozy directly and forth is so damn much more flexible. I'd put it as flexible. But yeah, the touching on the ability to make new words. I mean, this is it. Forth is a language for creating vocabulary rather than having some sort of a notion of compiling some big chunk of code into some complex system. I mean, it's incremental. Just yeah.
I wonder though, Kevin, it sounds like what you were looking for was something more like a sort of start here, right? How do we get the fella on board? How do we, that type of a thing?
Starting forth.
There are two things that occurred to me with regard to this challenge, and they may be two separate questions. Dave says the Vintage Computer Festival is August 2nd and 3rd. Wow, that snuck up on me. All right. The two things are, you know, sitting at dinner over the years and somebody says, well, what's fourth? What's it good for? What uh, and I generally focus on ideas of uh, the interactive tool that Atari or Apple engineers used in the beginning of the personal computer era to debug their hardware, things like that. The other thing is that this our YouTube channel, a lot of YouTube channels have a little introduction video, like you know, go to Forgotten Weapons or some other random YouTube channel, and you can see the little introductory video that comes up, and I believe you can select what video that is, and it will give you the entree into what the channel is all about. And I think our YouTube channel sort of assumes that you know what fig is and you know what fourth is, and you're here to watch this stuff. And if you come across us at random and find yourself on our channel, I'd like to maybe have some opportunity to sort of suck you in without immediately cranking the gate valve on the fire hose. Uh,
Yeah,
but I
but
think that
Kevin, that it just keeps on changing. As we saw today, it keeps on changing. And I think Chuck's a big part of that.
isn't that
That
great?
yes, he changed it at a whim and still does. Um, it's it's the downfall of fourth, but also the power of fourth is that
I
you can
remember
change anything.
I remember one of our fourth days, somebody on comp.lag.fourth was saying, well, you know, you've invited Fourth Incorporated and Chuck Moore to speak. And it's like, excuse me, this is the fourth programming language. You're talking about the guy that invented it and dips it. My personal opinion is fourth is whatever Chuck says it is. That's one definition.
Yes, it used to be.
And the other,
He's not saying as much anymore.
that's fine. The other issue was, you know, you're talking about the premier commercial enterprise involved in the fourth programming language. So all I can do is perpetrate my canonical raspberry in the direction of that fellow whose brain seems to be operating on a different wavelength than mine.
Yep. But fourth inks down to Leon. And
Well, I think that if Leon needs somebody to
he gets it. He
to
he
do
can hire him. Yes.
it's bigger. He's got a Rolodex, and that's pretty much the way he's always worked, and
Yeah,
the way Fourth Incorporated worked before that. Uh,
I know. I know. I'm just not sure that starting fourth, which is in effect a long version of what you're after, but I'm not sure it applies anymore.
well, I think that maybe we can agree on some features about Fourth that we want to talk about, and some ways to get started. So part one would be things like it's compact and it has simplicity. And my feeling is that if you say simplicity, it is the gateway to reliability. Uh, and
In our comprehension, yes. In the world's comprehension, no.
and the next feature, it's interactive. So let's say you have a piece of hardware that you're trying to understand or use or develop code for. You know, you put up with scaffolding the pieces, the tools that you need to turn the nuts on this thing. Uh, and they're simple and understandable and bits and pieces that fits into this. What is it? How many things can you juggle in your mind? Five things plus or minus three, whatever that study decided the capacity of our brain to understand. And then maybe ways to proceed after we're done with those characteristics or features. And one might be Bill Ragsdale's upcoming book. I don't know how you'd get started if you were interested in color forest. Maybe we could mention Fourth Haiku and give a link to a good introductory video on that Brad could select. I'm not sure, starting forth, what would you download to use starting for? And also Forth Incorporated file size might be a good place to point people at if they want something to get started with.
Yeah, a set of links might be a way to start because there's a ton of information.
Yeah,
But
well,
finding it anymore is difficult. Even a list, you're going to have to maintain the list.
This might be an article. Well, there's one on the website that we haven't really kept up.
Yeah.
Actually, there are a couple of lists of this sort, but I think that this is a starting point, and I'll take the opportunity to hector about this going forward, and I'm hoping Dennis will write a script or make a video. Even just writing the script, something that we can throw rocks at. I'll consider in all my free time. That's
Right.
what amazes me about Brad. You know, he's terrifically busy. He does 100 things for us every month, and this month he only 87 things for us. What am I supposed to be unhappy about that? Thank you so much, Brad, for all your efforts and activity.
Yeah.
And,
Brad has the advantage of working for a company that expects you to dedicate a quarter of your time to other things. And he does it.
all right. Any other comments, questions?
Yes, if I could. I think the other key feature of Forth is small memory. I think that's what brings me to it. And I don't see good documentation on like the same program. I mean, I know one case where the Forth program was 40% smaller than the other one done on a 32-bit 32 register machine. But I think the small size, and I mean, I believe that in general, it's these embedded systems that use Forth the most, where there's memory is a really tight constraint. I think that we lack good demonstration documentation of that. And if we did and really push that as an argument, I think that's the so one of the killer features of Forth, as I gave the example in my talk today. Thank you.
Yeah.
A very good point. If I were going to do an embedded task with an existing processor, I would probably start off by going to Forth Incorporated and choosing the processor based on which ones are currently supported, so I wouldn't have to ask Leon if he wants to sell me a fourth for a processor not currently supported. And the tools come right out of the box, and you get to try them out with a free trial before you sink any money into this. But if I had an FPGA, I would be calling Christopher Linzinski and asking, and mispronouncing his name and asking him how to proceed with FPGAing in a fourth-ish way, because it doesn't seem to me as if there's a box you could buy this in. I wonder if any of these display cards for Arduino environments have a way to actually get into the FPGA and develop code for it, or if it's just a package thing that you just have to accept it. It stops at the interface and you send the things that you want to put up on screen. You know, I think that if we had like a fourth environment with this is a different thing from the challenge. If we had like a fourth environment and FPGA kit that was all put together and ready to light the fuse on, maybe with some existing tool chain, that might be a good thing to talk about. You know, just go to one place and at least it has a getting started and a list of stuff and a test practice hello world sort of non-trivial example.
Can I respond to that?
You may. I was
Yeah, so
hoping
the
you
issue, I mean, it's not that hard. I'm getting close to graduating and then I'll have a lot more time for this stuff, but it's not that hard to do a shrink wrap version of Forth on an FPGA. You could probably even have one that ships installed. But the point of the FPGA is really people want to add some custom functionality. And then the problem there is that it's incredibly difficult to do, and most people have no idea how to do it. And so it's sort of the whole thing is sort of there's no good solution there. The one place where it does make sense is if you do a mini core fourth FPGA, right? So the typical microprocessors do like a shared cache, and they don't have the cores talking to each other. And so you can imagine assembling fourth cores in different network structures, so that maybe for a vision application you connect them this way, and for some other application you connect them that way, and then that's sort of much easier to make, much more flexible, a whole bunch of different connected multi-core fourths, kind of green array stuff running on FPGA. So that kind of gets interesting to people. Anyhow. So I think the idea of some kind of shrink wrapped entry thing is a really good one, and we'll probably come back to that in a month or two when I actually have something that I'm shrink wrapping and shipping. But you do have those limitations with the FPGA stuff.
That'd be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think you're going to be mistaken about how much more time you'll have, because that is the way the world works. You think you're going to have a lot more time starting X, and it turns out it's the exact opposite. But
that comment about the connectivity is really that's interesting. On LinkedIn, there just has been a post
Bob,
about the connection machine, which is a 12-dimensional. What?
Can this go after we start recording, or is it something you
That's
have
all.
record? Okay.
Pardon?
Does this have to be on the record?
I was just going to say it's a 12 cube, which is quite interesting topology.
Okay. Brad, A motion to adjourn is always in order. It takes precedence. It is not debated. And pull the plug.